One time I smoked a stranger's pen, like a vape pen, okay? And yes, I had to seriously research if there was any possibility that I had smoked crack through a pen, because I didn't know if you could do that. But I was feeling as if I had done it. I felt like I was feeling like I had smoked crack. And just in case any of you narcs were wondering, I'm allowed to do this. I'm a card-carrying medical marijuana user, so if you've got any questions, you can direct them to the state of Illinois, the people that issued me my license. I wanted to do we're gonna cut the drama and just get to it. This is a high story time, and if you don't want to watch a high person tell a story, then don't watch it. Okay? That's all there. Seems I'm not the only one in the group chat who thought they smoked crack once. I think there's actually someone in the group chat who may have. Yep. Alright. So, we're in 2018. We're in the 2018 vibe. Put yourself in 2018, okay? There were good times. There were good times that year. There were. I don't have a mic on. Ugh. Whatever. Okay, so 2018, right? Just a different time entirely. A different world. And I have just declared myself a filmmaker for some reason. I was about to start film school and I started adding myself to like Facebook groups. That's what they tell you to do. They tell you to join the groups. Chicago production assistants or filmmakers or whatever. Anything you try to do in this world, they tell you to join the Facebook groups. So I did it. I did what I was told. And I saw a post that was a call for PAs. And like, okay, in these groups, like a lot of them are very legit. I wouldn't, maybe not very legit, but they can have legit moments. There are legit people inside of them that can sometimes come together to create legitimacy. That is not always the case. And sometimes weird people post shit. Somebody posted that they were shooting a music video and they needed help. PAs. I don't know where, for no pay on a hot summer's day. Okay, like these are all the things that are happening.
That's like the risk you take with certain gigs, you know what I mean?
And I am going into film school looking for experience so that when I get there, I don't look like a freak. So I get in contact with the people, they get in contact with me, we have contact with each other. It was a little bit like that. Just doing things in public, doing things in general makes me nervous. So you can imagine how I'm feeling in this situation. And I'm also like add in the layer of I've never worked on a real set before. And I don't know like what anything's gonna be. I'm nervous. Imagine that. Is the address to show up for the shoot address. The neighborhood in Chicago that I'm like not at all familiar with. I have really no details at all, which again seems like red flag. Why would you go? But it's like I wouldn't. Now I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. 2018 me did go. I took an Uber to the set, and the set was an abandoned building. I think it was a school, not very many floors, but abandoned as fuck. And they told me when I got there, like the crew was all standing outside the building, and it seemed legit just because of like the amount of people there and how like on it people were unloading a truck. I mean, if there's a truck, that's convincing. That means that they have stuff inside a truck, and they were able to get a truck and put it in there.
So to some degree, this must be legitimate. And it's gonna be fine.
I know you're probably starting to think like, where does the crack come in? And we'll get there. We're gonna get there sooner than you think. So I'm in this abandoned building, and it is really fucking hot outside. It is August, and it is really fucking hot outside, which means it's even hotter inside the abandoned building. And we're on the 3rd floor, which we had to carry all of the equipment up, like all the film shit out of the truck. We carried up 3 flights of stairs, or 3 flights of however many flights of stairs is in 3 of the levels up.
And it was heavy.
But here's the thing, like the whole thing sucks. I hate it But I also had anticipated to hate it a little bit because I hate manual labor. I hate doing work. But a lot of the work involved in filmmaking is doing a lot of hard work. And that's fine. We're carrying all this shit up, and I'm like seeing the camera equipment be carried in, and it's like, oh, it was a Red camera, which now, having the cinematography degree, I understand why there was a Red on. I do. Anyone can own a big camera. It doesn't automatically make you the filmmaker that I was thinking that maybe it did make you at that point in my life and my journey in film. So I saw a brand I recognized of camera that I knew was used on big movies, and I assumed that meant there was maybe some more legitimacy. So I kept like going back and forth on like the am I gonna get murdered scale. As a woman, in every situation there is a scale of like, how am I gonna get murdered is this? And this was definitely teetering back and forth. I stayed. I wanted to leave so bad. And
I wanted to leave so bad.
I'm there for a while, and then I'm like talking to the crew members. There were a group of people that I was like sort of vibing with, but at a distance. So we're sort of vibing, and they were like, we're gonna go get Starbucks. You wanna come? And the thing really that it boils down to is, like a child with candy, you could probably get me to go to a Starbucks, even if that made the chances of me getting murdered a little bit higher. I don't care if that's basic or not. I love a cold drink, and yeah, I really wanted one, and I didn't want to like make them order it for me, you know, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go, instead of just being like, let me not get in a car full of strangers, whatever. We go to Starbucks. It's like becoming clear to me in the back of the stranger's car that like we're a lot further away than I thought. Going away from, however we went to this Starbucks, I realized how far we kind of were from anywhere that I had really known. We go there, and in the car, they're just fucking berating me for going to film school. And I'm like, what? Like, okay, like I'm really excited to go to film school at this point. Like I have no idea that DePaul University is a mess yet, so I'm chilling, I'm excited, and they're like,
yeah, film school's for fucking dweebs. Wasting your money, you can be like us, and you're not.
And so that was kind of a bummer, because I'm like, okay. But there's also like very, how do you say, mysterious, like Russian undertones to this whole thing. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not, no offense to the Russian people as a Polish person, but it's just not a good vibe. And Polish people are often not a good vibe either. That's not something I'm trying to parade, but I'm just like, this is such bad vibes. Why did I come here? Why did I trust a Facebook post? Why did I do this? But I get my Starbucks drink. Everything's relatively fine. I'm here, I'm unhappy, I'm hot, and I'm sweaty, but I'm here. And I've got my Starbucks, and that's gonna make things a little better. And we go back, and it's time for some kind of lunch. I wasn't aware there was even going to be lunch. They lead us to this room where the craft services team has been working hard to set up our lunch. It's the biggest order of Popeyes that I've ever seen in my life. Unfortunately, I am a vegetarian. Actually, I did eat mashed potatoes and I think mac and cheese or something, but it was scary to eat in this room that's clearly like lead filled. Like the paint is, so I can't explain how scary the place was. I really can't. Like, I've been in abandoned buildings before. I grew up in a small town during the Tumblr era. I've been inside abandoned buildings before. This was nothing like anything I've seen before. This building was abandoned as shit. There were people living in it while we were there, which was an indication that this was maybe less legit. But the point is, we have to get to the crack stuff. We're coming back from Starbucks. This is before the Popeyes. I forgot. We're standing outside. This girl who I was vibing with the most, who seemed the most separated from the meanest people there, she hands me her vape pen as a token of friendship. Because she's really nice. A little weird, but very nice. And I take it. It would be considered rude not to. It was my interpretation of the situation that it would be rude if I didn't. What a kind gesture. And before there was a pandemic and we all started thinking about germs, why wouldn't I? This is a terrible situation that I've found myself in. Of course I want to get high. I take one hit. One hit. But it's one of the ones that you press the button down on, and those always, I mean, whatever. I take one hit. And you guys, I am zooted to levels above. I've been really high before. I have clear, cold, hard evidence and videos to prove it. This was unlike anything I'd experienced before, and it was also the worst possible environment for me to be in. And I know you're thinking, why did you take it? Why did you hit the pen? And I hope that you understand that at that time and in that place, it was just the only choice I had. So I took it, and I got so fucking high. I immediately, like, the world shifted in a way that I didn't know weed could do. And, you know, to this day, I don't know what was in there. It could have been not weed. I don't think it was crack, but we'll get there. Everything suddenly, it's like all of my anxiety about the situation that I had been keeping under the surface was now, like, happen. It was like everything was happening. Like, what I thought was going to happen it might as well have been happening. As a child, I spent a lot of time more worried about spontaneous combustion than seems to be a real, actual threat in the adult world. This is my moment that I thought, I'm finally going, this is it. I'm going to combust.
I feel like I'm like coked out. Like I'm
shaking. I'm freaking the fuck out. I want to do it with my hands. There are like so many things wrong with the situation, and they're shooting now, so there's like real responsibility. I can't handle it. And I need to go home. I gotta find a way out. Why do I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack, and why do I feel like why do I feel like Scarface? Why is this happening to me? I'm tingling. I'm like, cocaine does that. What else does that? Crack. What can you smoke? You can't smoke. Cocaine does that. You can't smoke cocaine. I smoked something. What? Crack. What else would it be? It's not meth. This girl's not going around smoking meth. But people do go around smoking crack and doing cocaine. So when they say that there's not a difference between indica and sativa, I have a hard time. So whatever, I made up an excuse that I had to leave. I don't know what it was. It was something really dumb, but I had to go. I couldn't be there anymore. I mean, it was going to become a situation that they weren't going to want to handle. So fast forward a little bit. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go so quick. I gotta leave. They're telling me they're gonna call me about the call tomorrow, and I'm just now realizing that this was a more than a one-day thing, and I'm like, okay, great, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not gonna come back tomorrow. I'm never gonna come back again, and we'll all be lucky if I end up at film school after this horrendous experience. So I go to call an Uber, because there's no way I'm public transiting out of this mess. I can't. So I go to call an Uber, which is crazy, because I'm so, first of all, blessed to have that option to call an Uber. But also, like, what would I have done if Uber didn't even exist? Anyway, I'm shaking outside the abandoned building, and I'm trying to call an Uber, and there's like a huge ass surge, and I can't do that either. So I'm like, I call Via, which, if you don't know, Via is this ride-share thing that's like probably non-existent anymore, but it's basically like Uber Pool, but like every ride was an Uber Pool unless you paid for a private ride. Whatever, I don't care who we pick up. I just need to go home. I just need to be away from here. I need to be in a car, headphones in, world out. Like, I need it. I need that. I need that. And the mac and cheese is like gurgling inside me. Like there's lactose happening. Coffee, yeah, let's not forget the iced coffee, please. Venti-sized iced coffee happened before the crack. So I call Via. The thing about Vias and the thing about Uber pools, formerly, is that you have to meet them on a street corner that they tell you to meet them on, which can sometimes be a little bit of a walk. I don't know if you know anything about people that think that they might have smoked crack, but it can be hard to navigate. My phone is dying, not now, then. So add that into the mixture. I mean, this is some tense stuff. So I get the Via. I'm trying to figure out where to meet it. It has me meeting it in this like random intersection inside of like in between two bridges. It's hard to explain. I don't know where I was, and I had to walk there. So I'm like, this is not a pedestrian, the part where I was walking to get the Via, not a pedestrian place to be. So I'm waiting for the car in this thing. I'm still feeling like this. I'm scared as fuck. I get in the Via and I'm just so we have to pick someone else up, dude. I don't care. To pick everyone up. I don't care. Not those people at this shoot, but pick anyone up that you want. I'm just happy to be here, where I can safely sit my ass down, breathe, drink some water kindly provided by the Via driver, and finally be able to Google if it's possible to smoke crack through a vape, because that's all I'm thinking this whole time. Just thoughts of that. Can you put crack in those things? I don't know. I have to look it up. I can't look it up. I have to conserve my battery. This guy has a charger, by the way. Like, I can't explain the amount of like relief I felt when I got into that car. Which, like, technically my life was still very much in danger at that point. I could have gotten in a car accident. He could have driven me away. He could have been co-conspirating with the crew. Oh my God, there's so many things in my life could have gone wrong that didn't, and I'm so grateful for that. But wow. I did not smoke anything sativa for a long time after that. Things changed for me. My life was not the same. I've never, ever responded to another call on one of those Facebook groups. I'm sure that some of them are legit, but I can't, it's not for me to know. Not anytime soon. The thing of all of this is that I don't actually know if you can smoke crack through a vape. I don't know if I ever got a conclusion. Vaping crack cocaine is a growing concern. Oh my God! Pot vape pens, the crack cocaine of marijuana. Okay, relax. Okay, here's a QAnon post, Quora post on how to vape crack cocaine. This says you can't. There's no way to know what I smoked in that vape pen that day. You guys gotta be careful. Don't vape anything. Don't vape anything that you think it might be shady. If you're gonna do crack, don't vape it. In fact, just skip it all together and smoke sativa, because I think that's probably what it was. This was fun. Now I'm just gonna be high for the rest of the afternoon. So if you liked this, comment down below, let me know, and we can do it again sometime. I also have a story about the time I got so high in Amsterdam I started crying in the Primark. It's stuff that happens to me, and I can tell you about it if you want me to. Thank you for watching.